Thailand's new Destination Thailand Visa, also known as DTV, may soon be available to digital nomads and remote workers. Today I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know about this visa and whether it makes sense for you to get it or not. And I'm also going to review the Thai Privilege visa to kind of compare what's available and which makes more sense for you. If you've been visiting Thailand as a tourist, you know that it is not so easy to do visa rounds anymore. You may get stopped at a border and denied admission. That's been happening to people over the past number of years. So there have been new visa programs launched by the government of Thailand. We had seen the Thai Elite visa. They did a rebranding. It's now called Thai Privilege. And since very recently, the Destination Thailand visa appears to be the new thing, the next thing. This visa is aimed to specifically attract digital nomads and remote workers, especially those who cannot afford the Thai Privilege visa. Thai Privilege, it comes with a lot of benefits, but to most people, middle class, nomads and expats, remote workers, they'd have a hard time affording this visa because it does require a pretty hefty payment to get a social visit pass. Plus, it doesn't come with all the perks, that you would get if you would become a resident of a country. Yet people still choose it, but it's not ideal. The Destination Thailand visa appears to allow people who get this pass to remain in Thailand for up to 180 days per stay. It is valid for 5 years. However, you cannot be in Thailand continuously for the entire 5 years. So you could be for up to 180 days, you leave for a certain amount of time, let's say that's a couple months, maybe half a year, and you come back in. This visa is not a residence permit, so it does not come with a path to citizenship, and it is really for people who want to work remotely for a company while still being in Thailand. So you cannot work for a Thai company. It is for digital nomads and remote workers, and it's capped at 180 days per stay. But it is a multiple entry visa, so like I said, you can leave and come back in. How do we look in terms of cost? The Destination Thailand visa costs 10,000 Thai baht. Given the current exchange rate, you're looking at roughly $270. I wanted to note that the Thai government has not announced the specific requirements to qualify for this visa yet. They did announce the visa, but the specific requirements remain unclear. Let's say you get into Thailand on the DTV, the Destination Thailand visa, and you want to convert to a different visa. It appears that such a change may be possible. However, you would automatically cancel the DTV visa when you convert to the new visa. Let's say you manage to find a job for a local company, maybe you get married. There are a couple of things that could happen during your time in Thailand while you're on the Destination Thailand visa, where you could convert to a different visa that may give you more privileges in Thailand. Here are some of the requirements to qualify for the Destination Thailand visa. You must be at least 20 years old. Can't be younger than 20 years, must be 20 years or older. You must show proof of a guarantor that has a credit limit of at least 5,000 Thai baht, which comes down to about $13,600. How this could work is that you may be able to open up a bank account in Thailand and deposit the money yourself, so you can be your own guarantor. And like I said, it needs to be 500,000 Thai baht, and that comes down to about $13,600. It kind of works similar to a retirement visa or any kind of visa that would tie you to Thailand for a longer period of time. So I don't know what the exact intentions are yet because, again, the authorities haven't really publicized a whole lot of information on this specific visa. It is possible that you may also have to supply proof of employment, but again, this remains unclear. Malaysia now has a digital nomad visa where you can get in as a digital nomad, but you have to work for an outside company. A foreign company cannot be a Malaysian company, and to get this digital nomad visa for Malaysia, it's called the Rantau digital nomad visa. You would have to have an income of at least 2,000 a month, which comes down to about 24,000 a year. That's what they're looking for in Malaysia. Seems like the requirements for the Thai visa, but again, it's capped at 180 days per stay, and then you have to leave, come back in, and potentially wait a certain period of time before you can return. However, the requirements, the guarantee requirements, we're looking at less money than what we're talking about in Malaysia. But if you have to deposit the money into a Thai bank account, then the question is at what point would you be able to use that money, and whether you can use it, let's say, as your monthly living expenses. You can withdraw, let's say, a sixth of that amount every month. And by the time you leave, your bank account would be empty again. I mean, all this remains unclear. Based on information that I have seen on their website, it appears that the visa can be extended once for another payment of 10,000 Thai baht, which again comes down to about $270, give or take. The application process for the Destination Thailand Visa remains unknown at this point in time. Hopefully, the authorities will announce the precise application process in the not so distant future so people can finally take Thailand up on this interesting offer. What's important is that you can also bring your spouse with you on this visa and also children under the age of 20. Now that we talked about the Destination Thailand Visa, let's talk about Thai Privilege and how the two compare. Let's have a look at the different Thai Privilege options that are available, what you get for your money, and whether it makes sense going with Thai Privilege. So basically, the lower tier option is a 5-year pass that currently costs 900,000 Thai baht, which translates to roughly $24,500. The Gold Pass, which is valid for up to 5 years, it comes with some assistance, some bonuses, points, but it really only is a social visit pass. Now, you can live in Thailand on the Thai Privilege Visa, unlike what we see with the Destination Thailand Visa, where you can only stay up to 180 days. With the Thai Privilege card, the gold card, you can stay longer than 180 days. However, there are some caveats. You do have to report to Thai immigration every 90 days, and supposedly this can be done online. It can also be done in person, but you have to report yourself every 90 days. On top of that, it is not a work permit, so you can't go out there and start working for a Thai company while you're in Thailand on the Thai Privilege Gold Visa card. You can't do that. And it also is not a path to citizenship. It does not give you property ownership rights. As a foreigner, you cannot own 100% of a property in Thailand. There's certain structures that may be available to you where you could potentially own property under a local company, where you could own property with a local partner. There are certain structures in place that you may want to consider. We personally don't recommend owning property in Thailand because full foreign property ownership does not exist. In terms of company ownership, you can also not own a company in Thailand. And like I've also said, you can't really work in Thailand while you're on the Thai Privilege Gold card. You cannot work for a local company. It's a no-no. However, if at some point you decide to surrender your Thai Privilege card, maybe it expired and you don't want to renew it, then of course you could apply for a new visa. Next, the Thai Privilege Platinum card, which is valid for 10 years and it costs 1.5 million Thai baht, which translates to roughly $41,000. Now you can see that you get like double the time. The gold card is valid for 5 years, the platinum card is valid for 10 years. So you're getting slightly a better deal when you go with the platinum card. But again, there are limitations, there are some caveats to it. You cannot own property in Thailand. Foreign company ownership is only allowed for Americans. Most nationals can never own a company, themselves unless they have a local partner. The Thai Privilege Diamond card is valid for 15 years. And it costs 2.5 million Thai baht, which comes down to about $68,000. And again, all the Thai Privilege cards that we're talking about, you're looking at a social visit pass. It is not an immigrant visa whatsoever. Thai Privilege's top tier card, the Reserve card, is valid for 20 years. It gives you a stay allowance for up to 20 years, and you are looking at an investment of 5 million Thai baht, which comes down to $136,000. So you see, you get 20 years instead of 15, but you pay double the price. You don't pay 2.5 million. You pay 5 million for the Reserve card. The question is it worth it? This is a decision you have to make for yourself. I personally believe that Thai Privilege is the most overpriced tourist visa in the entire world, but people still pay for it, so who knows? But if you're not interested in relocating to Thailand, you may want to consider different options. You can consider the Philippines SRRV program. It's the retirement program of the Philippines where you can live in the Philippines, get a residence permit. And this is for retirees that can deposit $10,000 into a local bank account and they have some kind of pension like a social security. If you don't have that, you would have to deposit $20,000 into a local bank account in the Philippines. That would be one option if you want to live in a laid-back country with beautiful beaches, where you get a visa that's at least a residence permit. You have probably no path to citizenship in the Philippines, but at least it's a residence permit. Malaysia's My Second Home program has been relaunched numerous times over the past number of years. They closed it, they relaunched it, and now they made some changes again. There's been a lot of changes in Malaysia. Immigration has been pretty messy in the past years. However, now they have a lower tier program where you can purchase from a developer in Johor Bahru, but it must be in Johor Bahru, and that's the lowest tier program that they have right now. So they did bring back a much lower tier option, but you're restricted, where you can buy the property in Malaysia. But it is a social visit pass as well. You can work for a company in Malaysia. It is also not a path to citizenship, but at least you can own property, but you have to buy from specific projects, government approved projects. So it limits your choices a lot. If you don't want to put up with any of this and you want to relocate to a country where you truly have freedom of choice, you can go to many Latin American countries. For instance, you can go to Argentina, where you can buy real estate anywhere that you want. You can get residency pretty easily in Argentina. There's the Rentista visa, where you have to have an income of roughly $1,300. And you can also start a company in Argentina that requires now an investment of just $1,700. And that would get you a residence permit. And after 2 years of legal residency, you could apply for citizenship. In most cases, it will take 3 years, for a number of reasons, but you have a path to citizenship in Argentina. Argentina allows full foreign land ownership, full foreign company ownership, and like I said, you also have permanent residency with a path to citizenship. In my opinion, a much better option. Of course, in terms of climate, it's very different in Southeast Asia. Paraguay is another option that you may want to consider, because you can get temporary residency without proving economic solvency, and after 2 years you can convert to permanent residency in Paraguay. And permanent residency in Paraguay is really permanent. It's for 10 years. You get your cédula, and then you can renew it for another 10 years. And it's a great way to stay in a country like Argentina. Paraguay also allows full foreign company ownership and full foreign property ownership. The citizenship is a little bit more difficult in Paraguay. Not many people are naturalizing, but in Argentina, many people are naturalizing. Mexico is another country you could consider, where you can get residency through the regularization program, or you can qualify by proving income or savings. There are a number of options available. What is your take on the new Thai visa? Is it worth it? Would you go for this process to spend 180 days per year in Thailand? What's your take? If you're interested in obtaining a residence permit in one of the Latin American countries that I just discussed, please contact us now. You should see our website displayed right on the screen, and also below the video. Click on that link, contact us. We really look forward to working with you and helping you obtain real residence in Latin America, and help you with all the other processes that you may need help with. Thank you so much for watching Nomad Elite. We truly appreciate you, and we see you on the next video.